Welcome back to Light of Parables. Today, we're diving into a powerful story of faith, separation, and God's unwavering promises in Genesis. Chapter 13. We find Abram, his nephew Lot, and their households returning from Egypt to the land of Canaan. God had blessed them immensely, so much so that their flocks and herds were too numerous for the land to support them together. Their possessions were so great that they could no longer dwell in the same area. Soon, strife arose between Abram's herdsmen and Lot's herdsmen. The land simply couldn't sustain both of their vast fortunes. Now Abram, as the elder and the one who had taken Lot under his wing, could have easily claimed the best land for himself. But he does something truly remarkable. He approaches Lot and says, "Let there be no strife between you and me, and between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, for we are kinsmen. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself from me. If you take the left hand, then I will go to the right, or if you take the right hand, then I will go to the left." What an incredible display of humility and peacemaking. Abram prioritizes family harmony over personal gain. He trusts that God, who had brought him this far, would continue to provide for him, no matter which piece of land he ended up with. This is a profound lesson for us, to seek peace and trust in God's provision, even when it means letting go of what we think we deserve. Now, it's Lot's turn to choose. The scripture tells us that Lot lifted up his eyes and saw that the Jordan Valley was well watered everywhere, like the garden of the Lord. Like the land of Egypt, it was a lush, fertile, and inviting plain. To Lot, this looked like the best deal. It was the most prosperous choice from a worldly perspective. So, Lot chose the entire Jordan Valley for himself and journeyed east. He settled among the cities of the plain and pitched his tent as far as Sodom. The Bible gives us a crucial piece of information here. Now the men of Sodom were wicked, great sinners against the Lord. Lot made his choice based entirely on what he could see, on the outward appearance of prosperity, without considering the spiritual environment he was moving his family into. This choice, driven by sight rather than faith, would have dire consequences for Lot and his family down the line. It serves as a powerful reminder for us to weigh our decisions, not just by what looks good on the surface, but by what aligns with God's will and wisdom. After Lot departed, God speaks to Abram, and what he says is truly beautiful. He tells Abram, "Lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land that you see, I will give to you and to your offspring forever." God then makes an incredible promise. He says, "I will make your offspring as the dust of the earth, so that if one can count the dust of the earth, your offspring also can be counted." God reaffirms his covenant with Abram, not in the lush valley Lot chose, but in the land Abram was left with. Abram's selfless act of faith was met with a divine reassurance of a future and a legacy beyond his wildest imagination. God then commands him, "Arise, walk through the length and the breadth of the land, for I will give it to you." In response, Abram moved his tent and came to dwell by the oaks of Mamre, which are at Hebron, and there he built an altar to the Lord. Once again, Abram's first response is worship. He builds an altar, a physical marker of his faith and gratitude, acknowledging that everything he has comes from God. Genesis 13 teaches us so much. It shows the virtue of putting peace above personal profit. It contrasts a life of faith with a life led by sight. Abram trusted God, and God blessed his trust. Lot trusted his eyes, and it led him toward a place of spiritual danger. May this story encourage us to be peacemakers, to walk by faith, and to always build our altars of praise to the one who guides our steps and fulfills his promises. Thank you so much for joining us today on Light of Parables. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next journey through Scripture. We'll see you in the next video.